Canada, it's laying the ground to be a national threat to USA and a threat to the world.
How can they move faster in Canada?
Because we have a traitor, his name is Justin Trudeau.
Are you telling me that in Canada it's possible that eventually you guys as Christians may get beheaded?
They are fast forwarding also their documents to be done, and once they get the citizen, they can come back to US.
We have an enemy to the north.
Exactly.
We have an enemy to the south.
Yes.
We have a major problem.
I think that you guys need to build another wall.
Andrew is from Canada, right?
Yes, I live in Canada now.
Canadian.
Yes, I'm Canadian.
What's going on in Canada as far as Islam, as far as this whole extreme Islam movement?
Well, story short, that we know that for sure the Muslim Brotherhood, it's a terrorist organization infiltrating.
In Canada?
Yes, big time, very clearly.
More than the United States?
Yes, I would say more. But they are established here too. That doesn't mean they don't have a connection.
No, I understand. Yes. But right now
they're moving fast and clearly more in Canada.
Why in Canada? How can they move faster in Canada?
Because we have a traitor. His name is Justin Trudeau. I call him jihadi.
And Justin Trudeau is your prime minister?
Yes, he's not my prime minister.
Well, I mean, of Canada.
The U.S. and Canada share the longest undefended border in the world. There hasn't been a reason to defend it because there hasn't been a serious threat from either country in a couple hundred years. There is now. Canada is today the happy home of thousands of radical Islamists, ex-ISIS fighters, and the Muslim Brotherhood. Their numbers continue to grow, and they've infiltrated the Canadian government on several levels. Many Americans assume that all is peaceful and well with their northern neighbor, but security experts here warn that by welcoming radical Islamists, Canada now presents a danger to the United States. Terrorism expert David Harris, who worked for CSIS, Canada's spy agency, told us a major attack on the United States by Muslim extremists based in Canada is only a matter of time.
Many years ago, I suggested that many of the Islamist extremists might regard Canada as an aircraft carrier from which to maintain operations against the United States.
Canada is becoming a foundational sort of place for Islamists of all stripes, including the Iranians, by the way.
Thomas Quiggin is one of the authors of Submission, The Danger of Political Islam to Canada, with a warning to America. He says Canada is in denial over the terror threat it's created for itself and the United States. And the denier-in-chief is Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who welcomed returning ISIS fighters back to Canada, saying they would be a powerful voice.
He's actually said in our parliament, sort of like out loud on the public record, that if you were opposed to ISIS fighters returning to Canada, it is because you're Islamophobic.
In a land of legal weed and people kind, a debate has been raging over the treatment of returning Canadian ISIS fighters who are tired of chopping off heads abroad and are eager to resume their lives back in Canada. Within the past few years, it's estimated that some 60 Canadians have returned home after fighting overseas for terrorist groups such as ISIS, and the Trudeau government's inaction to prosecute these barbaric criminals has sparked widespread criticism and concern. Many of these terrorists, who are still awaiting to return back to Canada, are imprisoned across Syria, and their wives and children who are stuck in guarded camps are pleading for the Canadian government to come to their rescue.
I go back and forth, I'm sick, I'm sick.
Essentially, these people who made a conscious choice to leave Canada and partake in gruesome terrorist acts are only now realizing how bad of a decision it was, and are begging the Canadian government to give them a second chance and to forgive them for all their horrific crimes.
I mean, like, we're all allowed for a second chance,